All right, just want to spend a couple minutes on the mail order prescription benefit here. This is beneficial for everybody enrolled in a Anthem health plan, but it's particularly helpful for those of you that are enrolled on the HSA plan, because there's some cost savings, and obviously when you're on the HSA plan, you're a little bit more cost conscientious. So you can receive up to a 90-day supply of your prescription using Anthem's online through Express Scripts. Now, the cost of the mail order are 2.5 times the retail copayment. So you're getting 3 months prescription paying for 2.5. So you get some cost savings there, plus it saves you time. All of us get busy. It's pretty easy to do. You submit your prescription into Express Scripts. You can fax it in, mail it in. Doctor's office can call it in, and then your refills are right there online. So you can go on any time. You can check the status of your prescription. Are you due for a refill? Are you close to needing a refill by your provider? And they'll send you reminders as well. So this is a good tool, again, time saving and also some cost savings here as well. And typically your prescription arrives within 14 days of you filling it online. All right, so now we're going to circle over to some Anthem resources. We talked about the nuts and bolts of the plans, your co-pays, your deductibles, but in being enrolled on any of these plans, you also have the option to utilize a lot of the resources that are on Anthem's website. A few of them are listed here. I'm going to spend a little bit more time on some of them than others that I find that are the more popular ones, but they do have a 24/7 nurse line. So we hear that this is particularly helpful for any of you who have newborns and you're not sure if the child is just cranky or if it's sick. Calling into this nurse line, they might be able to help you and guide you through that. There is also condition care. So, for example, if you're recently diagnosed with diabetes and you just need some counseling or some outside advice on how to change your lifestyle, some suggestions just to help you cope with that and get you through that transition, they're available to you as well. Or if you have a family member that maybe was just diagnosed with cancer and you just need that outlet to talk to, maybe some tips on how you can help care for them, they are available. And again, this is all free of charge. It's part of being enrolled on the Anthem Health Insurance Plan. I want to spend a few minutes on some of the features. This next one here on the next slide is Find a Doctor. So obviously we all want to make sure that we're seeing in-network providers because you get the most deep discount by seeing an in-network provider with your benefits. So you can go online, you can search by general doctor, specialty, you can search within a certain mile radius, your zip code, and then it will provide you a list of doctors, their address, phone numbers, even reviews on those doctors or facilities in the filtering out on the specs that you provided. So now you can also use this on the next slide here. Anthem has a mobile app, as everything does nowadays, and you can use that Find a Doctor feature on the web app as well as their other resources. I recommend logging into Anthem once you enroll. This is a good time. You're kind of focused on your health insurance. Go online, take the time to establish your username and password, because this is going to be helpful when you use some of these features later down the road. You don't have to worry about going through that process of creating your username and password. But they have an Anthem mobile app that you can simply download on any mobile device. And then the next one here is the Live Health Online Virtual Medical Care. And this is a great one to segue into as far as setting up your username and password, because in the event that you need to go to the doctor, you don't want to have to worry about creating the username and log on. This feature allows you the simplicity of having a doctor's visit at the convenience of either being at home or on the road without having to go into the facility directly. So whether it's you're busy at work or your doctor's office can't see you that day, you're on vacation and your child has an earache, this is a good time to use this feature. Now, it's for low acuity conditions, sinus infections, strep throat, cold and flu, earaches, those types of conditions. If it's a life-threatening situation, they will refer you to an emergency care. So obviously they won't be able to treat you through a virtual visit. But this comes in particularly handy. The great thing about this is it's the same cost of a copay on your plan. If you're on the HSA plan, the cost is $49 for the visit. So that saves you from paying maybe perhaps a $100 office visit when you go in if you were to go to visit the doctor directly. And again, there's a download the app. They have the link. You also have a number that you can call into Anthem and get hooked up with that as well. When you call in, you can have your visit right then and there, or you can schedule it. Let's say you're calling in at lunchtime and you want to do it at 5:30 when you get off of work. You can set up that time as well, and they will call you back to have that visit. All right, moving on to estimate your cost feature. This feature is particularly helpful for those of you that are having any MRIs or CT scans. You probably don't realize this, but some facilities charge differently than others. For example, your standalone facilities are oftentimes less expensive than facilities that are attached to a hospital for your MRIs. Again, this is good for any of the plans, but especially for those of you that are HSA plan, because you have that deductible that you're trying to meet. You're going to be a little bit more cost conscientious of what's coming out of your pocket for that visit. So this calculator can come in very handy. You can pull up the facilities again by zip code, radius, specialty, so forth, and then it'll give you the information. If you're logged in with your username and password, it'll pull up the plan that you're enrolled in to give you more accurate information. All right. So then kind of just to wrap up the resources, and again, all these are found online, but Anthem also allows some discounting on Jenny Craig products, weight management, vitamins, hearing aids, so they can provide you all kinds of different discounts just being enrolled in one of the Anthem plans. Okay. All right, so that kind of wraps up the Anthem resources. The last thing I want to touch base here is on, we're going to shift gears a little bit and go into your dental insurance. So as I mentioned before, your dental insurance plan is going to remain with Anthem. There are no plan design changes. So you still have your preventative services, which are your cleanings and your bite wing x-rays. Those are still covered at 100% on your plan. 80% is covered for your basic services. So those are such things like when you go for a filling and have a cavity filled. That's covered at 80% as long as you're seeing an in-network provider. And then you have 50% coverage for your major services. And those are for all those fun visits like crowns and implants. So those are covered at 50% on the plan. Now, it's important to note, if you have not been enrolled in this plan, you want to make sure that your dental provider is part of the Anthem network to receive the full benefit of your dental plan design here. And you can do that by going online or contacting them as well just to verify. Now, Support Services of Virginia is going to continue to pay 100% of the employee-only amount for your dental coverage, which is fantastic. And you're going to see your premiums noted down here on the right. And that's going to be on a per biweekly pay period basis are those amounts. Okay. So let's move on. So what's the next steps? We're going to switch over to the Allstate supplemental products, but before we switch into that gear, just want to recap here. You know, again, open enrollment runs today through November 6th. It's important that every employee fills out a benefit election form, even if you're waiving coverage. And then if you are going to enroll in a medical plan or make changes, whether it's adding a dependent, removing a dependent, same thing with the dental, then you must also complete the Anthem carrier enrollment form as well. So if you're keeping everything as is or waiving coverage, just the benefit election form. Otherwise, if you're making some changes, you also need that carrier enrollment form to go along with the benefit election form. Okay? Again, the plan year runs December 1st through November 30th of next year. And unless you have a qualifying change in status, those enrollments are for that full plan year.